That's the first time I've seen that new intro. It's kind of sexy. I'm not gonna lie, I like that one. That one gets me in the mood for TA. I don't know if there's any other way to put that. Anyways, guys, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. We got some stuff to talk about. It's a new month, right? And we did have some things that played out really, really well for us yesterday. So we'll kind of recap the levels we went over yesterday, why we were thinking that, and then we'll just dive right into the charts. See, you guys are loving the new thumbnail, at least some of you. Looks like we got Dave saying that he almost skipped the video because it's a UFO thing, but I've been waiting to use that one. That's a good one. So good morning. Yeah, no, of course. You're welcome, guys. It looks like we've got a fair amount of people in here, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get going. Max, anything to add before we kick off?
Oh, good.
He never has anything to add, guys. I know he's going to say no. So I ask every time out of politeness because unlike the British, we have manners over here. Before Max can even rebuttal.
Are you joking? No, that's it now. I'll say something.
Yes, how dare you? Anyways, guys, we had these boxes on our chart yesterday, right? Let's get rid of our VWAP here. And let's get rid of the sessions. So these were the levels we gave yesterday. We were saying box to box, essentially. We're only interested in trading into this zone because we had the previous week point of control at 24K, which is still kind of the gatekeeper for right now. You can see it's coming in right here. I believe I haven't removed it. It is right here. I had it 23,969, if you guys recall, because childish things. And it's one of those where always front run your targets. However, you didn't have to in this case. I actually took this short last night and got stopped out this morning around 2 a.m. So I posted my current numbers for the year, first 60 days on my Twitter for my win percentage. Closed out the month super strong with like a 95% win rate over the last like 7 days. And then very, very first trade of the month is a loss. So just goes to show you guys that it doesn't matter what you did previously. It only matters what you were doing currently. So I'm in a long trade off the weekly open right now. So that is actually going to be a profitable trade for just a scalp. But back to the charts, guys. Looking at this, what you'll notice is this weekly open is going to be somewhat important here. And if we go into a little bit more low time frame stuff like the previous day high and low, as always, marking those out. You can also see this is your previous day high. And if we zoom in a little bit or zoom out a little bit more, you can see this is going to be coming in near the weekly value area high, which I believe shifted up a little bit from where I was looking at this morning. This morning, they were lining up perfectly, the previous day high and the value area high of the developing week. However, they have shifted here. So you do want to see Bitcoin getting back inside of this range, getting back into the Asia or the London session, excuse me. So you'd be just looking at this price action here to see if you can find some acceptance here, right? And we don't need that extended. Showing us that, well, we need to get back above probably about 23.7 to have any kind of a shot at maybe trying to rotate this back to this local high and pushing up. Otherwise, if you lose the previous day high, it's not the end of the world. You do still have this caveman level right here, the pivot. And this is about where we were talking about it yesterday, if you recall. So you can see this is the timeline we were in right after 9 o'clock. We were saying if 23,425, that's this level here that we're bouncing off of, is lost, we expect to see this box, which you can see was pretty well respected in its own right. So came down, found support, held this low, and then off you go, right? So you've now expanded to the upside and hit your first major target. And this is a shortable opportunity right here. And then we are looking for the next area for a long, to be honest with you guys. And for me, you know, really don't want to be living below 23.4. I just feel like if we do, this whole move was pretty quick and we'll probably be coming back down closer to this previous day low, in my opinion, just looking at market structure alone. So, and we all know how I feel about losing this box. If you lose that, we'll make a new low. And I think at that time, I don't think we have to make a new low. However, it's something that I'll definitely have an alert set for, and I'll be looking to trade this area again if given. If it doesn't give me an opportunity to get long in that area if we reach it, so again, this is all hypothetical stuff, then we look for the next level down, which is all the way at 21.8, give or take a few dollars. And I think we'd probably go past that. But for now, you're holding the previous day high, which is a good thing. Holding on to this weekly open, also a good thing. First chink in the armor is going to be an SR flip of this level between 23,553 and 23,592. And then you are looking for, well, lower prices. I think 23.4 comes quickly, but anything below that, I'm just retargeting these lows between like 23,000 and 23,100. That's been your decent demand zone thus far. So that's how I would be reading the local price action. If we can hold this level and push through this 24K zone, this little gray box, we have the next box above us. And what you will notice is this is also the February NPOC. And we've talked a little bit about this. Let's go to DXY is ripping off of the yearly pivot here. Very nice. I do still think the DXY has more to go up, to be upfront with you guys. There's been no sign of weakness. I don't think that one's done, so that doesn't bode well. And then we go to here. So what you'll notice as well, previous week low, previous week high, and you've got the previous week EQ also coming in at where that key $24,000 zone. So really need to see 24K held as support. If you do, I think you can make that push up here to this 24.7 region. Also, what comes in there is our NPOC at the February range, which we'll take a look at real quick since it's now complete. And you can see that range here, right? So you can see that you're still living in it. And we've talked about this, that if we begin breaking down from the 23,100 area, let's just call it the monthly open in this case, then yeah, I would just think we're going to take this low, the previous week low, and at least challenge into 22.4. And I don't want to overlook 22.4. However, my attention is pretty much diverted down to 21,779 and 21,371. And that's because we have a monthly pivot that was untapped from last month that's down here as well. So you can see that's the targets. You also have some NPOCs down here, et cetera, et cetera. And you guys know my feelings on this is that we don't want to overlook levels by any means. However, if we made that trip down to, keep ranging, one would have to think, and SPX is going to come down and backtest this trend line in that gold pocket we've been talking about, it looks like. We'll see what it gets. One would have to think, if that's the case, that maybe we are doing the old range sign line, right? The old continue down. And when you get these, you will eventually come back up and back test this at like 24, 24.2, something like that. And usually it'll be like a gold pocket, right? And that's how they generally go. And so if we did something like this, you could see that, this would be somewhere in this region right here would make sense. Come down, back test it before I move down into the range, and the range continues. And that's not a bad thing at all. That doesn't mean price is going to 10K. It doesn't mean price isn't going to go up and hit 28K or 30K or whatever your targets are over time. It just means that this is going to consolidate further and that this was a de-risking zone, meaning you should have been taking profits, right? That's all that means. So we're not trying to predict the market. We're only trying to work in our best interest and play the best, the best side of the coin. In this case, the best side of the coin up here was to take profits, maybe even take a short, and reevaluate prices that's coming into local support. So all of that said, price is still above key supports. So we shouldn't be too bearish just yet until we're breaking down. Realistically, sign of weakness is going to be that weekly open, also that previous day high, but I would really put a lot of focus on that monthly open, which is right here inside of our lower bound box, just above the previous day low. Okay, so that's how I'm viewing it. It's pretty simple stuff. I don't really have anything else to add to this. Very, very easy range to trade, in my opinion. Very support and resistance, very simple stuff. All this little nuanced stuff in between, guys. I was trying to explain this to somebody in the group. They're trading, only trade in the boxes, I guess. If you're buying at 23.5, that's no man's land unless it's a day trade. If you're looking for like a better probability setup to get a better trade or swing, is it the prettiest low? No, it will scare you out of positions at times, and you have to be prepared. But if you mark off your major levels and supports, these are the areas you want to be putting on risk. They're going to offer up the best invalidation, and they're going to be giving you the best moves. And, that way you don't go to sleep going, man, I hope I don't get stopped out because I bought up here and my stop loss is like, down here, whatever it may be. So that's all I'll say on that. So yeah, I've got nothing else to add to the Bitcoin chart. If you're good and ready, Maxwell, to go over the order flow.
Always, let's get to it. Okay, so I'm going to go over the lows that were made last night. I'm regrettably unable to trade these due to the time zone. It is what it is. So as you can see, as you came down into the box, which Magic had mentioned, you had liquidations building. If you want a real buy the dots, sell the dots indicator, check out liquidations. I swear to God, these things are straight money. Tons of liquidations on the long side. That's what these are. So green I've marked as effectively longs getting taken out. So when you see green, it's longs getting taken out, and you can see tons, 2.5 million there. And I've hidden a load of the miniature ones. I only want bigger position sizes that I can see getting taken out. And you can see there's a lot of bigger position sizes getting taken out. If you were to put, if you were to reduce the amount of wrecked balls that you get, reduce the amount of liquidations, this would be littered with them all. But as you can see at the lows, that initial drop that you made was a difficult one to get into, I will admit. Just looking at it, obviously I didn't trade this, but it would have been a difficult one to get into. You had positions changing hands. How do we know? You've got negative 7.2 million open interest there, negative million delta. It tells you that with all the shorting that was, all the selling that was taken, someone was taking it in limit order, because the delta is market orders, and when it doesn't really fit in with the open interest, it just, obviously you're going to get some discrepancies here, but it just kind of eyeballing it tells you that someone taking over that selling in a limit order. So especially when you see negative 5.7 million, negative 3.3, and all these imbalances here with a really high figure amounts, it shows you that someone's down with a limit order, absorbing it all as it drops, building a position on their side. So they're building a long. But this one, like I said, it was a difficult one to get into. It would have been, you would have struggled with that one, I think. This one here, much more easy. Came down, ton of selling taking place. You also had some position changing hands. Again, negative delta, increasing open interest. So some shorts and some positions changing hands occurred in this candle. Then you get your clear delta switch up, buying imbalances as you go from your negative delta to positive delta. Buying imbalances show, including on the next candle as it's effectively, the day's changed over, but as you broke above the VWAP, plenty of buying imbalances there for you to take an entry trigger from, given the box that you're in. And also, if you were still unsure, looking at this region, you've got tons of shorts up here. As you break above that and effectively get out of the box, you even come and back test the region, locking in those shorts effectively, meaning that they can't get out of that position that they're in. Move up, it's a move up. What it did do for us, and I actually have to shout Danny because I did not look at these. We got a ton of single prints. And these are quite interesting. I'm going to go through why. But initially, what we've done is, we had the single print earlier, came up to here. And now we're at the really important part where it is, I need to reload this chart. All the marked are off, I believe. Now what we've got, we're in an important position where the weekly open is rather key, because I'm ignoring this little bit of a single print for now, because if I extend this again, we've effectively done a very good job of closing it out, really. But if we lose the weekly open, you've got this little range here, which, okay, granted, not really a range, but as you make your way back into it, you'd expect it to get, come down to that level that Magic mentioned, at which point you have got the support of the golden pocket, the caveman level, which Magic mentioned, and also it is the top of a single print effectively. It's a bit way away, but it's all in that region where, if you start to lose that again, ultimately you are looking for the low to be taken. But yeah, coming into up here where we are, initially you had a ton of shorts enter, and it's great. It's where you'd expect it. It's a good short. It's where you'd expect it to really drop from. However, price really lingered around here, and you can see it found buyers as it dropped, found buyers, and price stayed up here. They managed to hold it up, and then it took out any of the shorts that had entered here. You can see the liquidations coming in here, and then this was a neat one for anyone that was trading it. Again, another one I missed as I was at the gym. But if you look at it, you had some positions changing hands, which was a minor, but then you had a ton of selling taking place. So a ton of longs that entered, closing out of their positions. And sorry, I'm just checking another screen because I'm in a trade and I'm about to be taken out of it. So I'm just checking my other screen for that. You had a ton of selling taking place, which is not what you want to see when you want to see price, continue above a high. So you had signals there to take a short if you're at the charts. And then we've kind of been dawdling in this region. You've had a ton of buying take place. You can see here you've got a huge open interest increase. And as we get further down here, even more open interest increases, which warrant that you're going to drop. Well, it doesn't warrant that you're going to drop. It warrants that if this level is, if we live under there for too long, it really is quite bearish. And, ultimately you're going to be looking at the loss of the weekly open. We did get this nice little SFP occur. And then this price action came right in. It did blast through it a little bit, but it came into the golden pocket. You've got a PVA on a PVA, so there's your reversal signal. Huge volume spike up here. And if you look at it at the top, you can see when you were up here, you lingered here for about a minute, and you had just a ton of buying taking place, which failed to move the price anywhere. And it was all shorts getting stopped out, so there wasn't really any buying power up here. It was just a weak move up into a region where where you should be looking for a short. Ton of delta on the buy side, and they really failed to do anything with the price. So it shows you that, similar to what happened at the bottom, where you've got all that heavy selling and it's just effectively not going anywhere. Here you've got effectively a lot of buying and it's not going anywhere. So someone was suppressing this, and then you've got effectively the sell off, where you've got the move had no buyers, so it just dropped when the short squeeze had effectively stopped. Right now, however, you had some positions changing hands down here, which is, I am in a short from that region. So with the fact you got the positions changing hands here, and then the buyers came in, it does warrant some caution on that short, because when you've had this all occur down here where the weekly open is, it's kind of like just showing that someone's there at the big limit order and that they want to hold the price above it, because they know that if it loses it, it's going to have quite a bit of a drop. Not huge, but down to that golden pocket in that region that Magic mentioned. So it really is the region to be held, like 23660, because if you start to lose that again, chances are you're going to be going to the weekly open and testing that once more. And given the fact of how much buying has taken place down here in the limit orders, in the position changing hands, and this little buy up that we've had here, how much money is this guy going to have that's held this and created this little move that we're having here? It's a difficult one to really tell. You can't really tell. So, but I'd rather not count him having another 10 million in the bank. You'd hope that his move now continues and it isn't coming tested again. But yeah, for now, it looks good. The fact you've had the position changing hands in the buy and this buyback, it does look good for a move up higher. And I think if you were to really come and test 24k again, I don't think you're going to swing fairly upon it this time. I don't think it's been enough shorts really enter for it to be swung fail. But you have to wait and see, because I said that yesterday and it was actually swung failed earlier, but it was just a weak move into it. But I don't think it'd occur again. And then you can look to them higher targets. I don't know whether Magic mentioned over. Let me go on this screen. I think he did. He went over the golden pocket that's in line with some pretty key regions above us. But I have posted it in the group for those in there. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the current bit of PA. If it doesn't lose the weekly open, it looks very good. But loss of that, you're really coming down to this golden pocket. Loss of that, you're losing this. Well, you're not losing it, but chances are you're going to swing fail those two lows. So Yeah. In a nutshell. Actually got some stuff to talk about today, so it's been pretty good. Magic, I am done now, and you are not here. Oh, I turned you off.
Way to go, man. Yeah, no, it's been a good day if you're into day trading anyway, and you're somewhat organized. So, looking across the board, if Bitcoin's bouncing, we'd expect alts to bounce, right? Let's see. One that came into an area of interest for me was
I'm
QNT.
sorry, Magic. How can you say gay TA when you're wearing a shirt that's that color?
It's green.
You Fruit Loop.
What's wrong with the color of my shirt?
Don't be calling my TA gay when you're wearing that.
I didn't say your TA was gay. I said we're all gay for TA because he said hello, gays. I said we're gay for TA for sure. So I don't know what you're so insecure about. If you need to come out of the closet about something, you let us know, man. We're here for you as a community. No one's gonna judge you. Anyways, on to QNT. QNT has come into my box. So I put boxes on the chart and price likes it. So we failed to get above the 145 level on any material closing basis, like monthly basis here. You can see we've only done that one time and then it gave it up and just nuked. So now if we go back to the daily here, what did we expect? Well, you came into the quarterly low, which did provide a nice bounce. We talked about this. You got the bounce technically was right here. Let's see, the value area low was struck, back to the point of control, back to horizontal resistance, back to the low of the range. Okay, so this is why it's important to take profits. And it's why I've said that, I'm willing to trade this. I'm not necessarily holding it until it gets to like more major targets for me. So looking at 124.67, that is your yearly pivot with the gold pocket from this move up, high to low, just beneath it. You could probably move this to here if you wanted to, I would imagine. Yeah, this would be the one you'd want. Probably move it to here. You can see you're at the gold pocket, backed up by the quarter four pivot. This whole little blue zone between 113 and 124 for me is support. I would like to see that support holding. And if so, I would like to trade this area again. So a lot of that's going to depend on, king shit of Turd Mountain here, Bitcoin, getting back above this 24K level. And that would probably bode well for some of these alts, getting that move from 23.7 to like 24.7, which I actually think if we get that high, we'll probably just make a new high, or at least try to. So that would bode well for things like QNT. So this to me is opportunistic. I have not entered a position off of this back test yet. You probably could have just blindly bought the exact area, 24.67, and you can see it's already a 4.5% bounce. I would never recommend blindly buying anything, but if you did, that's 5% at the high there. You could have easily made some money on that and got in and out, because I believe on Bybit Spot, which is what you trade with QNT, it is I believe there's no fees. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they do fees for spot trading. So pretty nice little 5% day trade for QNT there. However, does it have potential to go higher? Of course. And we did just close out the February range, so we do need to update that. Let's go down to 1 hour for that. Let's get really into it. And they're about to be picking up the garbage and trash haul. Yeah, so the goal of this one would be, if this is going to have any legs, it holds this support, we're looking to take this back up to about 140 would be the F my life. Fuck it. We'll just do it like this and we'll just zoom in. That's the problem with the magnet tool and falling in love with it is if you're zoomed out and you're on like the low time frame, it can really make things a pain in the ass. Yeah, you're looking for this zone here if this bounce holds. So I haven't taken an entry on it because there's been no reason to yet. But if a setup occurs, of course I'm going to. Why wouldn't I? I'd be looking for this gold pocket, and I would be looking for this NPOC coming in right here for the month of February. So in between like 138 and 140, and we are sitting at 127. So is that like the world's best move? It's 9%. I'll take it. It's a great day trade, even a great weekly trade. So for me, that's how I'm looking at this, waiting to see if we get some type of an entry here, if it's going to confirm anything for me, and then I'll gladly take a spot position and try to move this one up. Stop loss would be below the current low, which is always questionable when you don't have a proper swing fail of it. So you might be patient on it, you know. I'm not gonna burn this shirt. I've had this shirt since I was in college when I got this shirt. So this shirt is probably like 15 years old, if we're being fully transparent. I'm like the traditional, like, stereotypical dude. I don't buy a lot of new clothes. I just don't think it's a priority. I just wear things until they are completely worn out. I like the way things fit. I haven't really changed too much since college, so just a lot less hair and more gray. That's about it.
So yes, Digital Dave, you're right. It is his favorite shirt.
Yeah, 100% my favorite shirt. No, I wouldn't say that by any means, but usually when Bitcoin is pumping, I do pick a V-neck or something with like a low cut. So that's the sign. Is this pastel? What is pastel? What does that mean?
Sounds pretty free.
It sounds pretty. I don't know what pastel is. So being colorblind, it's not exactly like my forte or my strength on the dressing game here, guys. So don't really care either. It's never really negatively affected my life.
Did not even realize his shirt's pink.
What? No, this is not a pink shirt. I would know if this was pink. That's not pink. I'm colorblind. I'm not stupid. Yeah, 15-year-old shirt's just getting broken. Light colors. Oh, yeah. Anyways, so that's Q&T. That one's coming to a region of interest for me. So we are hitting that. Filecoin should be coming back to earth here soon. Still looking for Filecoin to come down into like this area of the chart. We'll have to do quite a few updates on my charts going forward here. You can see you're sitting right on the quarterly value area high. Also, you could just call it a back test of this region of the chart, right? We could just say that you're just back testing these highs right here. So you could say this is probably going to be some form of support and resistance for now. And yeah, you know what? That gets it pretty good. So you are at some sort of support here. However, I don't really see it as any major technical support in terms of like the scheme of things. I guess you do have a local gold pocket here, if we're being honest with ourselves, and you have the value area high of your developing quarter. So that's what you're getting there with like a little bit of horizontal. But my overall target remains the point of control and this gold pocket at the 2020 key level, yearly key level, we should state as well. So still being patient on Filecoin. However, it did hit this box that we lined out in Friday night charts 2 weeks ago. So that was nice for anyone that took the short there. Matic, again, this is why we pay ourselves. We talked about this yesterday, that you could potentially get this move back up, maybe to like 133, 132 region, right? We've been kind of, well, I think I already worked it up. Yeah, right here into this like local gold pocket, just above some, horizontal resistance and support. Very much so on the table, but still, if I'm looking to add to positions outside of intraday scalps, I'm still being patient for $1.05 to $1. I think that's the destination. That is our B leg target here as well. So just kind of keeps things rolling. Let's go to DOT. I haven't looked at DOT in a while. I'm pretty happy with how I've traded DOT. Yeah, DOT is an interesting chart. Yeah, I think this weekly NPOC and 6M1 get filled at 579 and 580 still. I think the gold pocket's likely way beneath it. It's just beneath it, yeah. So, I mean, if we're mapping stuff off here, this is going to be a kind of a wider zone. I don't like giving a huge box on this, but it's even backed up by the quarter one, pivot here. But I would say if you start losing this region of the chart, you can see support, resistance, support. Don't want to be giving up this support again. Should we see it? It's the value area low of our quarterly range, which is nice. And you've got a local gold pocket from the most recent low to the most recent high. So an overall GP, you've got that NPOC, you've got some pivot support. I like it. That's what I'm looking for DOT still. Still being patient on a lot of these. And LRC was the last one we've been talking about. Ooh, this is an ugly chart. What are we doing? What did we do? Yep, still waiting on LRC to come to this box. Could it bounce from here? I don't really change my mind on anything until we're back above 39.77 convincingly. So still being patient with my alert set for this potential trade setup. I don't think I have too much else. Let's go over some of the ones I haven't looked at in a while. Adam has hit our first target. Blue box is there. Nice bounce. Very, very clean. This would be the area of interest for right now. And if we can get a little further retrace into this area right here, it would make me super happy. However, this isn't an acceptable place to be looking for action as well. And again, you know, you're looking back up to somewhere around 1373 before you can really get excited about price. That's how I would treat that. Come on. Yeah, it's your value area low of your quarter. Yeah, this is very acceptable. Should you lose, you're already back at the point of control as well. So this was a good trade in the moment. But if you weren't trading it, then, you know, I wouldn't just be buying right here going into the point of control of a range. Yeah, so you can bring charts like that to our attention, Stacks. We don't actually we don't trade patterns here. It's probably the least reliable way to trade this market, in my opinion. But you can trade however you'd like. You will have success any which way you see fit if you do things correctly. I just think you have less success in that manner than you could otherwise, right? So, but yeah, we don't really do a lot of pattern trading. We don't look down on it because you shouldn't look down on anything, but it's just not something I've found has the best success rates. Now, doesn't mean that an ascending triangle can't happen. And let's see, QNT is forming an ascending triangle. Where? Are you talking about this? I would not call that an ascending triangle. That would be a double bottom, but I would not call that an ascending triangle.
Post it in the group and you can take a look at it. Also, yeah, I just want to say thank you for the huge amount of likes we've got in this video. We've got more likes right now than we have viewers, so I really appreciate that.
Oof, I just went to the altcoin chat. Dude's blown it up. I got some catching up to do on some of these. I went and cut my hair. Oh, it's the 1 hour. I definitely am not going to look at it. Nothing personal. The lower the time frame, the worse. It is what it is, though. I would rather just trade ranges and technical support than anything. This is going to give you the level. But if you're saying we got a low time frame like so, and you're saying that it's forming like right here off of support, it's a pretty aggressive ascending triangle. Just this right here, but that doesn't mean it won't play out. You know, like I said, this is a key area, so maybe it is forming that. You know, demand's coming into the market. If it works for you and you're trading off of the idea that this is invalidation, go for it, man. Whatever you got to do, it doesn't bother me one bit. Where were we? Solana. Baby girl, what's your name? Solana. Somebody's going to name their kid Solana. I guarantee it. So Solana has been an easy one to trade. We talked about this on Sin City. Range highs, swing fail of the high right here, give up 25.86, and you're looking all the way back down to 22.11, and you have come back down to 22.11, and you're hitting support. So you want to see $22 holding. If you lose $22, I would not look at this favorably back into this third touch of this support. I would probably look at this coming back down into this region here, which is the region I'm most interested in if we're being completely honest. Where did I put that? I bet it's in my structure range. I bet it's right here. Into your dumpola. Yeah, this is it. Let's go ahead and extend this over. If we're being honest with ourselves and we're looking at this in terms of ranges using all the data that's available to us, this is still the area of interest to me. However, you are putting in a nice B-shaped range, so like an uppercase B here, meaning that you should treat these as individual ranges. That's all that means. Okay, so we have this range right here. You have a bump in the road here, and then you have this range right here. Okay, let's call this what it is. And then this in the middle, that is no man's land. We don't get involved in no man's land. So you have two individual ranges, right? Trade this range until it breaks. If you break this range to the downside, you are going to probably hit the point of control of this range down here is how I would treat that, okay? So that's how you want to look at that, and that'll hopefully clear things up mentally. So anyone that is trading this, gym is on the right path. You break above 25.86 again, though, and I think you'll see $30. I think that's where you're going, maybe 32 even. But for now, trade the range. You've got the levels. The levels are panning out really, really well. Very easy. That started off as my Pomeranian's name. Oh, man. After FTX, I don't blame you one bit. All right. I'm just catching up on the comments. We've been live for 36 minutes. We got 28 of you in here. Thank you so much. I don't really know that there's much else to cover. We kind of have everything going. I could sit here and roll through alts all day long, but I think that it's not that I don't think that they're actionable right now. I just think that, the levels are what they are. And it's been a while since I've kept up with all of these because I didn't do last week. We've been talking about this one, 1744 being that key level, horizontal wise anyway, and it's still putting pressure onto it. So if it can't bounce out of this region and hold this higher low fashion, I would expect to see this come down to 1580 and anything below 1580 on a closing basis. And I think you just come all the way back down to like almost $11 or $12. That wouldn't be very fun, would it? But I would say that this is going to be the region of the chart that, again, I'm still most interested in. Did I already mark it? No, I think we were talking about high volume nodes in this region. Yeah, this was the area we were looking for. So there's your support. If lost, you do have support just beneath it. So this whole region really could be looked at as support right here. But if you wanted to keep it a little more local, lose this support, no bueno. Look for an entry at the range low. If a setup is given, take it. If it's not given, I would be careful because this is probably a big inefficiency that would get filled. You can see it right here in the volume profile. When you zoom in, they call them gaps. You can call them single prints, whatever you need to refer to it as. This is not going to bode well for people that are longing in this region, right? So, but for now, holding on to support, and you're looking to trade it all the way back up if possible. It looks like if you can get back above 1795, not that far away, hold that as support. You've got a shot at running it all the way back up here to like $20 and some change. Would be quite the move. Value area high is at 47, 2042. That'd be the area of interest. Pit stop at 1928. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't want that level on there anymore. Not necessary. All right. He goes, sweet talk us on BTC again. You can always rewind the video, my friend. But that is 40 minutes. I'm going to hop off here, jump into the group, potentially take some trades. I've taken 2 today, so up 2 wins, 1 loss on the month already. And we'll see if we can recover from that absolutely horrendous stop out this morning. No, I'm kidding. That's part of it. So, Max, anything to add before we take off here?
Nothing at all. Volume seems to have gone walkies. Seems to have left the building. And it's annoying because, okay, I'm in a short right now from up this region. Actually, my shortwards entries at like 850. So I've put my stop loss at 800 something. And there seems to be shorts just building up and doing absolute fuck all with price, which is annoying when you're in a short because you don't want to see that. You don't want to see shorts come in and not really do anything. You want to see them, really push the market, get more selling imbalances going on, and trigger out some more selling from the longs. So the fact that the volume's died off, it does mean that we're probably going to come back down and test this region on the charts to test this gentleman again. But yeah, you don't want to see. I don't want to see any more of this. If they enter, I want them to really start pushing the price down. Otherwise, wrote off my trade getting stopped out at that point. But it's been given plenty of room to take profits, which is all good, and you love to see it. So it is what it is at this point. If you get stopped out, so be it. But I just don't think if it was to, if the volume is to come back and it's to go to the upside, I think we could get a pretty nice move above that 24K. If the volume to come back and it's to the downside, I think you're going to lose the weekly open and go down to that golden pocket. So kind of a waiting game to see which side the volume is going to come in on. But yeah, you got to wait, I guess.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the live. Thank you guys for tuning in. 24K is the level. Make sure that you're paying attention to it. Get above 24K and Bitcoin can maybe be abducted by aliens and fly higher. It's that simple. Lose 23,425 and I think we probably try to make a new low potentially. So is what it is. I just look for the previous day low at that time, and we'll catch you